Hi, my name's Andrew. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to review how to display the financial projections slide in a pitch deck. Just a bit of information about myself. I'm a fundraising strategist with 15 years of experience in high-end real estate sales and marketing, spanning Canada, Dubai, and the Caribbean. Over the last 2 years on Fiverr, I've assisted over 200 clients with startup fundraising, pitch deck refinement, investor outreach strategies, and custom investor databases. In addition, I currently advise a New York investment firm affiliated with a $60 billion hedge fund, focusing on various sectors, especially real estate, with capital requirements for projects typically ranging up to $20 million and aiming for robust cash flow and growth. If you want more information about my profile, just click my Fiverr link below. My master database includes over 400,000 verified contacts. That includes angel investors, family investment offices, endowment funds, pension funds, hedge funds, private equity databases, REITs, a premium high net worth and ultra high net worth Middle East database, investment consultants, venture capital, and investment banks. And the good news is these databases are ready for people who want to start marketing their projects. In addition, I help clients with pitch deck reviews and corporate fundraising presentations. Approximately 80% of the presentations that I see are not suitable to be sent out to investors, so I can help you with that as well. Just click my Fiverr link below for more information. So this video highlights how founders should display the financial projections slide in a pitch deck. So my observations after viewing over 500 pitch decks is the financial projection slide seems to be one that people have the most problem with. Well, not most problem with, but it's one that generally I find many founders leave it out completely. And if you're creating a pitch deck, although most pitch decks are going to have about 15 pages, maybe 16, the financial projections one is the one that most potential investors want to look at. And what happens is either they leave it out completely, or they include too much information, or thirdly, they do not use simple formats. So I'll show you some examples of those as well. So what should it include? Well, the basics of a financial projection slide, and the thing is, it's really easy. It should include a time frame of 5 years, which clearly specify the projection period for the financial projections. People aren't interested in quarters. They're really just interested in what's this going to look like in 5 years. And the key metric most of them want to see is revenue, because revenue solves a lot of problems for most investors. So provide a detailed breakdown of expected revenue streams over the 5-year period. And the format should be simple. Present the projections in an easy, understandable, and straightforward format, facilitating quick comprehension. So I'm going to show you some examples of bad ones, and I'm going to show you examples of what it should include. So as I mentioned in the earlier part of the video, I provide pitch deck reviews and a pitch deck rewriting service. In other words, I don't make them from scratch. I will actually take your business plan and create a pitch deck based on that, mainly just the copy part, but just sticking to the financials. I'm going to show a couple examples of some pitch deck financials that I've been sent, and I've taken out the company names because there's no reason to embarrass anybody. But for example, this one here has monthly revenue, total number of users, and expenses. This is not the information that anyone needs to see. The copy's too small. And prior to planned VC series of funding round, we anticipate a capital requirement of 500, which should be covered in 2 small rounds. So there's a couple problems with this. First of all, these charts are just too hard to read, and secondly, they've used 2 different items on the slide. For example, it's titled financials, but then they're talking about their capital requirement. So the capital requirement is a separate slide. So just to keep that in mind for people that are creating pitch decks. Here's another one that I was sent, and again, it's pretty impossible to read it. This is the actual type of background that it was used. So they're talking about break-even analysis, financial snapshot, and cash at year end, and then a chart here with assets, equity, and liability. So this is just, to be honest, it's a mess. It's not something that anyone wants to see in a pitch deck. You can put that in a business plan. That's not a problem. In fact, the previous one and the previous charts, that's what your business plan is for. Your business plan is to stuff all this information in there, but it has no basis to be involved in a pitch deck. And here's another one that just is a little bit mixed up. For example, it says traction for forecasting for success. So traction and forecasting are two different items. Traction really relates to things that you have already done, and forecasting is the future. So you can see here they're already talking about 22 to 26. If you have zeros, then don't bother. This was a pitch deck that was sent to me in 2023. So you don't need to include 2022, and you don't really need to include zeros. It's not important. Users, gross revenue, company EBITDA. Again, just keep it simple. This one's okay, gross revenue, but again, it should have been left alone, and also maybe had some key items here. You've got you've got points down here on the bottom that are just a little bit too hard to understand. So those are three examples of financials that I've received on pitch decks, and the good news is these are people that asked me to review their pitch decks, and in all cases these pitch decks had already been sent out to investors. So you can see that's the problem. What you should do is get your copy right first. Your copy and your pitch deck and your 15 pages should be done before you give it to a designer, because the issue here is that these people are going to have to go back to another designer, pay them more money to reset their pitch decks. So just don't do that. Try to use the strategy that the content is the most important part. Design can be done by anybody, to be honest. Anybody even in high school can design a pitch deck for you, but the odds are, if they're in high school, or even people who have never done pitch decks, can't produce the content that's needed. So just keep that in mind. So what should a slide look like? Well, this is one that I use as an example for many of my clients. It's simple. It includes a little bit of copy and a simple chart. So the financial highlights is a good title, and you can see here I've got projected net income, I've got the dollar amounts up on the left hand side, and I've got year 1, year 2, year 3, year 5 here. So really simple. And then just 3 bullet points to talk a little bit about it. They don't have to be too detailed. But you can see on the bottom it says our company's net income is projected to be year 1 US dollar year 1, and these are items that you put in there, and increase to US dollar. So this one would say 100,000 year 1 million year 1, and it would say 6.5 in year 5. So really simple. Anybody can create this. It's not that difficult. But for some reason a lot of people, 80% of them, maybe even more than that, tend to want to throw more information than they should. And although this seems like very simple, I will highlight it here for those that maybe need a bit of help. You just take a regular Excel sheet, put the year here, the revenue US dollars, year 1 to 5, and then put your totals of whatever they may be, and then you would simply go over to the chart side. You basically will create a chart by going to the tab at the top and say insert chart, and you can either use graphs or charts, it doesn't really matter, but it will end up looking something like this. And of course, if you wanted to, you could always add a data table. So the data table here is going to put the 250,000, 400,000, 1 million, 1.5, and 2 million. And it's a nice and easy way for you to display a graph, and then you simply would just cut and paste that onto your PowerPoint and you're done. So that's a real simple way to create a financial projection chart slide for a pitch deck, and you can see it's really simple. For any additional information the client has, that's what your business plan is for. Remember, create your business plan first, throw everything in it, and then use the parts of the business plan, such as this, for your pitch deck. For more information on my databases and fundraising services, just click my Fiverr link below. Thank you for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe.